Now children, we have already covered 3 of the 4 physiographic divisions that we were supposed to study. First being the Canadian Shield, then the Western Cordillera, then the Appalachian Mountain. So the only portion that remains to be covered is the area in between this area. So this lying in the center is our central lowland or central plains. Now when we were doing the color scheme of the map, we knew that areas which were lowlands and fertile drained by rivers are generally denoted by green. So you can see these areas which are greenish and yellowish. So this is our central lowlands or the Great Central Plains. If you look at the map, you can see that it extends from this Hudson Bay area down to the Gulf of Mexico. The extent from north to south is 6,000 kilometers. So you can underline in your textbooks, from Hudson Bay north, then continue underlining, Gulf of Mexico south, underline 6,000 kilometers. So this takes care of our north to south extent. From the west to the east, if we now consider that extent, it lies between the Western Cordilleras in the west and the Appalachian Mountain in the east. And this extent is of 2,000 kilometers. So please underline Western Cordillera and Eastern Highlands, underline the line width and the word width, and underline 2,000 kilometers. Now, when we studied Western Cordilleras and also the Appalachian Mountains, we came to know that the Western Cordilleras, they are young fold mountains. Being young fold mountains, obviously they have a greater height, and Appalachians, which are old fold mountains, have been denuded and eroded by glaciers, then wind, rivers for a longer period of time. So Appalachians are shorter than the Western Cordillera or the Rockies. So this area, the Great Plains, obviously have a higher elevation or height towards the Western Cordilleras, which are higher than the Appalachians. So the Great Plains will have a higher elevation in the west compared to the east. Please underline, plains are higher in the west. Now, if we want to know about the slope of land, it's very easy. We can just have a small experiment by pouring water on a particular surface. The flow of the water generally tells us the slope of the land, or water flows towards an area that is of lesser elevation from an area which is of greater height. Now, if we take the Mckenzie River over here in Canada, we can see that it is originating from these mountains and flowing to the Arctic Ocean, which means that the elevation or height is lesser in the north. So if we consider the portion of Canada, the plains which lie in Canada, we can say that the elevation is higher towards the south of Canada and it's lesser towards the north of Canada, because Mckenzie River is flowing from this side to this side. And similarly, if we consider it for the United States of America, this portion, I can see the Mississippi River, the Missouri River, whatever is rising in the highlands, they are flowing to the Gulf of Mexico. So that means this area is of higher elevation compared to both this area bordered by Arctic Ocean and this area bordered by Gulf of Mexico. So this portion is higher. So in Canada, the flow of the river indicates that the flow is towards the Arctic Ocean, elevation higher in the south of Canada compared to the north of Canada, and in the US, United States of America, The elevation is higher over here towards the north of the United States, and it is lower in the areas bordering the Gulf. So, this is what is proved by the flow of the rivers Mckenzie and the Mississippi and Missouri rivers.